recording. Okay, here we go. So, first thing off the top. You're doing it wrong. You're holding your phone like this. Landscape that. No more landscape, no more portrait video, landscape always. Now I know a lot of phones are now starting to get built so that they have 2 cameras at the top. They're a little bit better at getting like landscape, even though you're holding it like this. Still, the best practice is to hold it in landscape. With both of your hands. This was $1,000 or nearabouts, right? When I bought this new, it was a Note 8. I paid for the whole thing all at once. Instead of doing payment plans, it was $1,000. Freaking love this phone. It's a Note 8. What is that, 2016? Still good. And so the first thing to do is hold it in landscape with both your hands. All right? You're recording me, right? You're recording me. I'm gonna keep talking at you too. So landscape. No more vertical video. 2 hands. Right? Because that thing costs money. All right. So you got that. Landscape, 2 hands. 2 hands. Both hands on. Not 1 hand, 2 hands. Don't drop your phone. I wince every time I see someone drop one of these. And then, at some point, like next Monday, I'm going to give you one of these. Don't drop my cameras. That's like $200. And I will make you pay for it. And because it will be recording, when you drop it, I know who dropped it. Press your tongue. And, you know, you won't get kicked out of school, but you have to buy me another camera. I don't want to have to make you buy me another camera. It really sucks. So, landscape, 2 hands. That won't be much different from how you hold this. Next, when you're getting video, one of the things is you don't want to have your arms free floating. You're a dynamic creature. I'm a dynamic creature, but I'm doing it on purpose right now. I'm gesticulating a lot at you, wildly, partly because I'm Italian, but also because I'm trying to give you something to record. So, as I move around, if you have your arms out, you're going to be bouncy. You don't want that, do you, right? We have all watched online videos. We all have. It's been around for years. It's been around since you were a child. It's been around since I was in college, right? People who record like this, and they record stuff, and you watch it, and you're like, oh, I'm getting car sick just watching this movie, right? It's because they weren't doing this. That's why you hold it like this, and you get your elbows in, right? I'm trying to take the bounce out of it. I'm trying to remove any of that extraneous bounciness that humans are. Remember, you're a bunch of bones made out of calcium. That's metal. You're a bunch of metal bones held together with rubber bands. That's all you are. Plastic bags full of water with an internal structure of metal and rubber bands. You're bouncy. And on top of it, you're kinesiology students. So you inherently are very ADD-esque. You just... You want to touch things, you want to move. You don't want to sit there in front of the computer. You don't want to. You don't like that. That's the character of a kinesiology student. It's a generalization, I understand, but it's generally really true. I've not been proven wrong. So, hold it in landscape with both hands on it because you don't want to drop it. You're going to get those elbows in. Right? And some of you, I started to notice as soon as you got your elbows in, you started doing the right thing. Hold it landscape. You got your elbows in, and you're turning with your core. Right? You're not shifting around. You're not doing this. You kind of brought those in. It made you kind of tighten up. So now you're turning with your core. That's great. You want to engage your core muscles because they're those long muscles. The long muscles are there. Long muscles here, running along your body. If you're just using the tiny, fine muscles of your hands, you're going to make jerky movements, rapid and annoying and difficult to look at. You won't be able to collect that information on your camera lens. So that's an issue. You want to turn with your core. Turn with core. Right? And that kind of necessitates you standing pretty still. That's true. Now, you've all got your phones out, and all camera phones that I can remember at this point with that took video, pretty much every smartphone. When you look at them, I go to it, there we go. When you look at them, you have that ability to turn on the grid lines. See those grid lines? Right? You don't have to actually fade it. They must have like changed the app, made it less obvious, but you got those grid lines. Turn those on. Turn those on in the settings of your phone, because these grid lines will help you to make sure that whatever you're filming stays in that center 75%. We want to keep everybody that we want to film, anything that we're trying to get recorded on video. You want it to stay in that kind of center block. This one's set up for 9. I know some of them can have 16 blocks instead of just 9. That's even better. It doesn't show up on the video, so like it doesn't hurt you to have them on. But it really, really, really helps. And I went through all of the cameras and turned that on these as well. So we want to try and keep whatever our subject is, a person, you know, your dog, your cat, your nephew, whatever. You want to keep them in that center 75, because that's where the phone, the camera, the really nice cameras, that's where their focal area is. That's where whatever you're recording will come in the most crisp and clean and visual. You can see it. That's where it is. And just like your eyeballs, where your focal area is right here. It's in that center 75. Now you've got 2 eyeballs. So they're kind of getting an oval of what you can look at, where things actually come in correctly, regardless of status of glasses and contacts. Still the best area is here, right? Your peripheral kind of sucks. And on cameras and stuff, they are built just like your eyeballs. They're round lenses. They have the same thing your eyes have, where stuff that gets off to the side has this fish eye lens property to it, because of the distortion of the light coming through your eyeballs, coming through the lens. Now your brain and the software on these phones are getting much better at filtering that and kind of making it look flat. Right? We do that naturally. The phone has to be programmed for it. But that doesn't mean it's the best it can be. So we always want to stay within the center 75 of our screen. Always try and capture the best. Center 75. Center 75. Okay, now last tricks. Last couple tricks. Getting good video. Is becoming a tripod. If you're not going to buy a tripod, especially for your phone, probably not going to buy one. Maybe you'll buy a desk lamp, whatever. But at the same time, you're not going to buy a tripod and carry it around with your phone. You're probably going to use that phone suddenly. Oh, something crazy's happening. Get my phone out, turn it landscape, turn on the grid lines. Keep it in the center 75, elbows in, turn with my core. Right? I might walk, but I'm still turning with my core. Center 75, keeping everybody where I need you. Right? But sometimes we can actually get an objective view, get back a little bit, so we can capture a scene. When that happens, we want to take as much of ourselves, our body's motion, its kinetics, out of it. So we become a tripod. And the easiest way to do that is to lean against something. So everybody, up against the walls, quick! I need it back in here. Over here. Like that. Right.
I'm so lost.
Right. Put my back against it. Now, there's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. Right? To get as much of your body weight out of this system, where your elbows and your arms and you're moving like that, your core. We want to try to take as much weight off as possible. So, oftentimes it is best if you get up against the wall, you can take your foot that's against the wall, nice and close. You're on the side, hip in, the other foot out. 3 points of contact. Do it against the other way. Go over here. Right? And get my left foot up against the door, get my shoulder in the door, right foot's out. 3 points. Tripod. Right? It's letting me take all my weight out. Go up against the truck or marker board here. 1 foot forward, 1 foot's back. Put my butt up against the board. My shoulders are there too. But I've taken all my weight and I'm putting it into the wall. Hopefully I'm not getting any marker on my sweater. Right? But again, right, this allows me to become a tripod. I take all of my body's bounciness, wiggliness, I'm going to put it into the wall. And I'm going to let this sit nice and stable. That's a good one. If I can't get up against something, I might go into horse stance. If you've done yoga, I have done yoga. Okay. Horse stance is the one where you get your feet under your shoulders, that far apart. You bend your knees slightly. You engage your quads, right? And you sit back a little bit. Now, not full horse stance where you're like that, but like just a little bit of horse stance. Again, I'm using the large muscles so they're not wiggly. But if I lock my knees, I bounce. We all do. You might feel fine, but like you're very bouncy up and down when you lock your knees. You get into horse stance, you're using the shock absorption of your long muscles, your glutes, quads, hold your core, your elbows are in, keeps you nice and taut, allows you to turn. But what if you're in a classroom and you've got a desk? Oh, great, let's use the desk. Quick, get back to your desk. Yeah, you're getting it. Right? So like go for broke, right? So here I am. I might put my elbows on. I might adjust my chair a little bit. There we go. Right? But then I get my sternum into it too. Slouch into it. Go ahead. It may not be completely